Okay. It is time to round off the CTSC team of the century. We've got 12 players locked in. There is one more to add to this illustrious team that Graham's put together over the last 4 weeks or so, all ahead of the CTSC's Heritage event, which takes place this Saturday at the Queen's Mill. Make sure you head down there to that. Loose forwards. I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to the 13s. It is that position that I think is maybe most synonymous with Cass, to be honest. Certainly in my time. I think when I think back, just some incredible players that have played in this jersey for Cass. So this might be, well, I say it's a difficult job. I don't know if it is a difficult job. We'll get to that. We'll get to that as we go. But shortlist first. Graham, who's first up?
So first up, I've gone with a guy called John Sheridan. John joined the club in 1955, played till 1966. 301 appearances, 86 tries, 2 goals and a drop goal for 264 points. Started really as a centre, but became better known as a loose forward and had a pretty decent career alongside the likes of Hardesty and Epworth. Um, but it was after he retired that he became best known
Yeah.
because he became part of the coaching setup. Um, was involved with we talked about Dennis Hartley being around the Colts side, involved with the Colts side. Did some scouting. Um, coach Cass for a spell, coach Leeds for a spell, and went on to coach our A team for that brought the likes of the Beardmores and Barry Johnson, Kevin Ward, all came through that second team setup. Um, Fantastic guy as well. Many years ago, in the early years of the supporters club, we used to have a bar up at the railway end,
Mm.
and John would have mate of my dad's, and he used to come and sit. And my lad were a little, we're only like 5 or 6 at the time, and he used to sort of sit next to John, and it were like an education. He'd see things like from back at posts. He'd
Yeah.
be like seeing moves, things that were happening, and if we go this way, then go that way. You'd see things 2 or 3 plays in advance, and it was like, wow, just unbelievable to listen to him.
Fantastic. Who's next on the list?
Um, Following John was a certain Malcolm Reilly, our
Who?
club president. Our club president
Incredible.
joined the club in '67. A bit of a late developer, as he'd been sort of a local league footballer, and quite by chance ended up playing rugby league, and um, what a career he ended up having.
Yeah.
2 spells at Cass. First spell, 117 appearances, once off the bench, 32 tries, 5 goals and 6 drop goals. And in his second stint, he had 176 appearances, 21 off the bench, 36 tries, 1 goal and 1 drop goal. So all in all, 230 points from 293 appearances plus 22 sub appearances. In between that, obviously, had an amazing career at Manly. Um, I don't think there's much I can say about Malcolm that people would.
I think we maybe go to the third person on the shortlist because I do wonder if we might be revisiting at some point. So, who's third on the
Don't give it
shortlist?
away. Don't give anything away. Third one is again succession planning, really, and
Yeah.
it's Steve Knockenhorton.
Yeah.
183 appearances for club, 56 tries, 4 goals and a drop goal. With the club from 1970 to 78, and he was an unused sub at Wembley in 1970. You know, ball playing loose forward with some real skills. Floodlit Trophy win against Lee at Hilton Park, and he was sent off. And back in them days, it used to just show you like 5 minute highlights at first half, and then you got the whole of the second half. And
Right.
so Knocker got sent off in first half, so you didn't see him on TV. Um, and then when John Player, number 6 side had beat Blackpool, he had a guest spell with Manly alongside Gary Stevens and Phil Lowe, and won a grand final with them. And then went on to have an amazing career at Hull, and then finished his playing career at Wakefield. 13 Yorkshire caps, 11 England caps, 11 for Great Britain, and played in 12 Great Britain tour matches as well. So again, what a player! What a player!
Yeah.
and you know, a fantastic career both at Cass and at Hull.
Yeah, certainly someone who's held in high regard at two clubs. I think, which I think is always a big kind of not a big kind of mark of a player, isn't it? It's all well and good doing it at one club, but I think when two clubs kind of have you right up there at the top, that says a lot. I think. Who's next?
We don't have to talk too much about this one because we've already talked about him twice, and that's John Joyner. So turning over my page.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mean, some achievement to be in there three times, isn't it? We'll just say
Absolutely.
that much. It is some
Yeah,
achievement to make it in three positions.
yeah, it is. It is. Um, so that's four of them down. So last two, and the last two are both from overseas.
Mm,
So next one I've gone with is Tawera Nikau. Joint club in 91 and left us in 96. 164 appearances, 25 tries. He toured with New Zealand in 89 and had a short spell after the tour with Sheffield. Then he had a year at York before we signed him. And he went on to be a sort of a modern day legend.
yeah.
Um, Everybody associates the mullet when they think of tea. But he were fantastic with ball in hand, really tough defender, you know, strong runner. He had all the attributes that you could wish for in a modern day loose forward. Part of that Regal Trophy winning side in '94 and captained us in the 1991 Yorkshire Cup final. Went on to Cronulla and Melbourne where he was in their inaugural season, and then went on to win a grand final with them. Came back to UK and finished his career at Warrington. We all know the sort of tragedies that he's gone through, and they've been well documented. And there was also a dispute that he had with Richie Blackmore where he refused to play for New Zealand. So he only ended up with 19 New Zealand caps,
Hmm.
which again, you know, if things had been different, chapters had been different, he would have ended up with a lot more caps than that. And it was amazing to see him over last year, wasn't it? And the enthusiasm he spoke with about his time at Cass and that, yeah, absolutely love seeing him over here.
Yeah, great to see him over here. Great to see. He's just been doing generally more media in the UK and back down under as well, which is good to see. And obviously, he's a great talker, isn't he? Yeah, he's a great
Yeah,
talker as to So, yeah, the more the merrier, really. And obviously, I'm sure he'll be welcome. But certainly, he'll be welcome back anytime he wants to head back over to the UK. He's a bona fide legend over here, as is who I'm guessing will be the sixth member of this
go
shortlist.
on. Of over Euros.
Pretty short odds in it. This will be Adrian Vowles, won't it?
It certainly is, mate. It certainly is. So Vowlsy joined us in 1997, left us in 2001, amassing 148 appearances in total. I said in total. There was a because he came back
Yeah,
twice. We
did.
would we think of him coming back in 2005, but he actually came back and played two games in 2003 as well.
Mm,
When he left Wakefield. 33 tries, a goal and a drop goal, so 135 points. He'd had a decent career in Australia before he came and including a state of origin appearance
yeah.
for Queensland in '94. He didn't have best of starts at Cass. You know, it didn't work for him straight away. We tried him at six, we tried him in centre, but it was 13 where he made the he made the role his own. He wasn't nicknamed Assassin for nothing, were he? And through '99, he obviously went on to win Man of Steel. He was the first Cass player to win the Man of Steel, and the first Queenslander as well to win the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously had short spells at Leeds and Wakefield afterwards, where he were co-coach with Shane McNally, and as I say, come back for 2 or 3 games at the end of 2003 after being released by Wakefield, and then famously he came back and helped with that promotion push in 2005. Obviously, you know, his Glasgow heritage came to the fore as well. Didn't sound like a Scot, did he? But he ended up
No, I
with
don't think
four
so.
caps for Australia, including 3 World Cup in 2000.
Fantastic. Yeah, I don't think he'd probably not had too many battered Mars bars. I don't think at Valsey, but yeah, it was good that he was able to represent that heritage as well. Yeah, phenomenal career. They all have phenomenal careers, but yeah, Valsey, one of the few I've watched briefly in 2005. So funnily enough, we did come off that last stint, but
Yeah.
yeah, so many highlights during his cast career, so many highlights during his career. Primary highlight, of course, appearing on the Cruyffcast a couple of years ago. That
Yeah,
was
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Did
it
some
it
promo
was
stuff for us as well for Heritage event last year.
just one of the nicest blokes you can speak to.
100%, 100%. I remember I forget which, I can't remember which game it was, but he put on that he'd not been able to watch one of the games that were televised, and I messaged him and sent him a VHS of it, sent him, put it,
Brilliant.
recorded it and put it. I've got a recording of it and sent it through post. And he came back as a visit to Cass, and he messaged me and he gave me a Winner Manley training top,
Oh
just
wow.
sending him it. And I think no, it wasn't Winner Manley, it would have been a Brothers training top. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
And I used it as a supporters club prize. So somebody somewhere might be listening to this has
Probably
got
so.
that training top.
Phenomenal.
So
Phenomenal. Just yeah, as I say, I mean, yeah, cracking player, cracking fella, really is. And he was an absolute joy to have on the podcast, and yeah, hopefully I'll have him on again at some point. Hopefully, proper Cass supporter as well. And
yeah,
I love how much he genuinely supports Cass. Obviously down over there in Queensland. Yeah, as expected, a phenomenal shortlist of 13s. That's what I predicted. I thought the loose forward category in particular would be strong, and I think it just goes to show. And but Graham hasn't told me which one he's picked, by the way. I'm just going, I'm going off gut feeling here. It will just show how incredible this particular player is that he's won this category, to be honest,
yeah.
with the players around him. So without further ado, who rounds off the CTSC team of the century in
Well,
the 13 jersey?
we've had a few little stories, haven't we,
Yeah.
over the course of these episodes, and I've got a couple about loose forward before I put everybody out of their misery and reveal who's got it, which everybody's no doubt guessed. So we we signed in 1948. We signed a guy who was a bit of a legendary Welshman called Ike Owens. Had a fantastic career at Leeds, and we signed him for £2,750, which was then a world record.
948. Yeah.
Yeah, again, Cass world record fee.
Yeah. Again.
He put a transfer request in at Leeds, and we signed him. I think there might have been a little bit of skullduggery going on with this because
Mm.
he played 7 games for us.
The return on investment is not very good, is it?
And then we sold him to Huddersfield for, surprise, surprise, £2,750.
I take it back. The return on investment is absolutely fine.
But Huddersfield and Leeds were two of the top sides at the time. But Leeds clearly
I
didn't
see.
want to sell him
I
to
see.
Huddersfield. I think there
Little
might have
brown
been,
envelope from Huddersfield, was it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I thought that was quite a funny story.
I like that.
Um,
I like it.
when I was again doing some of my research, spoke to my dad about some of the loose forwards he's watched, and we signed a guy called Frank Birkin from Salford. He was about 6'6", 6'7", massive guy, and had a bit of a reputation, let's just say.
Mm.
Because he was so big, trying to catch a scrum half, he'd probably knocked a few unconscious over the years, and I'd had a few sending points to the dressing room and early baths. So Cass signed him from Salford. His first game for Cass was a Challenge Cup game against Salford.
Thought it might
Guess
be.
what?
Was
He
he in the
got
early
sent
back
off.
by any chance?
He got sent off. So yeah, I just thought they were two quite
It's rugby
comical
league for
stories,
you.
quite interesting stories.
Quality rugby league stuff.
All right, we'll go. Nobody's going to find this a surprise. Might have shocked one or two with some of my selections earlier. Maybe not. But it's Malcolm Reilly. We've said before he's on the Mount Rushmore, isn't he? You know, of Cass players. His achievements both in the UK with Cass and in for Manly, and as a player in Australia, and then to go on and replicate some of those honours in as a coach as well, to win a Challenge Cup in this country, to win a grand final as a coach with Newcastle, and coach the likes of the Johns brothers and Danny Badeiras, and we're a fantastic Newcastle side. Went on to coach Great Britain, coached Leeds, coached us, as I say, to numerous trophies, including that that famous '86 Cup final. Yeah, obviously won Lansrod Trophy as well in '69. And just yeah, he's one of the greatest players that's ever lived. He has to be. He has to be.
I think the phrase "he's done it all" is kind of overused sometimes. But when you think about Malcolm, you just said it yourself. As a player, as a coach, as an international, as a club player, he literally did everything he could have possibly done in the game. I mean, there is nothing. There's nothing
No.
relevant that he didn't do within rugby league over the course of a 30-year career, which is just incredible. And I think you mentioned at the top that he's on the Mount Rushmore of Castleford players. I mean, undoubtedly. For me, realistically, he's on the Mount Rushmore of English players, full stop. I think if you look at the history of the game, he has to be, and there's a genuine claim for him to be on the Mount Rushmore of just international players, full stop, in the history of the game, which is just remarkable. And I think the best example of that is the fact that the Ashes was reignited, of course, back in the autumn, and whose name was on the trophy? It was Mal Reilly. I mean, what an accolade that is. You know, the first Ashes series in 20 odd years, himself and Fulton being on that trophies, it just
Yeah,
speaks volumes, doesn't it, of how well respected Mal Reilly is in the world of rugby league, never mind in this little town of ours.
it does. And I know people who have been and visited Australia at different times and walked into, to different leagues, clubs, and bars and what have you. And as soon as they mention they're from Castleford,
Yeah,
the name Malcolm Reilly gets mentioned. You know,
says it all, doesn't it? It gives a
for
sense of pride, doesn't it?
yeah, for somebody who had 4 years as a player at Manly in the early '70s to
Yeah,
still be absolutely revered by the Aussie press and what have you, is yeah, and it's a bloke from Kipperks.
remarkable, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, it gives me a great, even though I've not had the pleasure of actually meeting Mal, but I mean, it gives me even just such a sense of pride, what you're saying there, the fact that you can go halfway around the world, well, all the way around the world, essentially. You say one name and they know about our town, or you say our town, they know about that name. I mean, it's amazing, really. It's amazing, really, when you
It
think
is,
about it. And
it is incredible.
I've said before, as you said, obviously he is president of the club currently, and quite rightly. I do think probably something should be done in the next few years at the ground to honour him, forever. Essentially to immortalise him at the ground in some way, whether it be a statue or a stand or something. I think if anyone is, value for that, he's top of the list, isn't he, as well?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. He's done it all. And you know, he's one of them. I obviously he's not in the best of health, and he's a guy well into his '70s now, but if you see him at a function, he still has a little bit of an aura about him.
Yeah,
you know, and to see him sort of, obviously I'm a little bit older than you, and you see him after games and at training, and so we used to train on a night, and you used to there'd be 40 or 50 people that go down and watch training on a Tuesday and Thursday night, and he just had a presence about him,
yeah.
and yeah, he's you know it the word legend, it fits, it fits.
100%. I think that's a lovely way to round off the loose forward position. So Mal really goes in, king of the loose forwards, despite some pretty hefty competition, I think it's fair to say. But Mal, just a legend, as you say. That does it. That rounds off the CTSC team of the century. It's been a few weeks for you guys listening. It's been 2 Zoom sessions for us in terms of doing this, but it's been an absolute delight. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this. I mean, people have their comments, I'm sure. I hope them comments keep coming
Yeah,
over the course of the next few days.
absolutely. I mean, from from players that didn't make the shortlist, we could pick a bloody good side.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the beauty of this team, the beauty of the 100 years of this club, you could make a good few sides, couldn't you? Which is
Yeah, absolutely.
which is fantastic. So yeah, there's certainly no shame in missing out on this side, but it's an extra little bit of accolade to have made it in. So just before we round off, just before we get into the episode proper, can you just give us the 13 who are the CTSC team of the century, Graham?
So at fullback we have Derek Edwards. On the wings, I went for Bernard Cunliffe and St John Ellis. In the centres, we had Arthur Atkinson and John Joyner. Alan Hardesty and Keith Ethworth take the 6 and 7 shirt. Couldn't pick one without the other. 8 and 10 got Dennis Hartley and Kevin Ward, with Kevin Beardmore at 9 in between them. Second rows, we had Bill Bryant and Brian Lockwood, and I think I'm going to give it captaincy as well. Malcolm Reilly at 13.